Okay, welcome back everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning. So we just did a whole segment on the Society of Idea Collectors. And now we're going to do a little bit of coloring in Serene. I'm not sure if it's pronounced Serene, Serene, I'm not sure. But anyway, we're going to do it in this. And Nicholas, and there's his full name. He goes by Nick Filbert, though. Nick Filbert, hashtag Nick Filbert on Instagram. I think that's the only place I've actually seen him is Instagram. But anyway, so we have colored multiple pages out of this book. Tracy sent this to me and a while back, and we've colored, well, let me show you the pages we've colored out of it. Cam even colored one. Let's see, do I have that on the... When Cam was here visiting, he colored one for us. Well, not the whole thing, but quite a bit of it. Let me see if I have it on my iPad here. I think I put it over here. Ah, here we go. So here's the one he colored for us out of it. And I did frame it for him, so he has it hanging up. Probably right about there is where you can see it on the iPad. And they're quite large pages. 13, what is it, 13, 11 by 13? And so some of the pages that I have done, this is one we're still working on, but I'm going to start another one today. So this one, worked on this one. I call this the Golden Goddess because she's kind of golden. This girl here. And I have put, not the unfinished one, but the finished ones, I do have them. Yes, Cam did use Copics, and I'm going to use, well, Copics alcohol, Hoo-Hoos, Blick, whatever alcohol markers. We're going to be using those too. And so then this one. What else? And I love, this is my favorite of the ones I've done here, this one. And this is a combination of marker and pencil. A lot of marker though, a lot of marker in this one. Her skin is all marker with a little bit of pencil shading, I think a little pencil, but mostly marker. So I love this one. You know, the blue one's your favorite, Abby girl? Yeah. I like this one. So what I like to do is pick color combinations. So where's the one I want to do? I lost it. This one. I want to do her, and I want to do her a redhead. She has freckles, so I want to do her a redhead. So I do cut these out. Let me get a knife and a ruler. Especially if you do markers, because they will go through, even though this is really heavy cardstock. I'd say probably about 110 weight cardstock. It is heavy cardstock, but markers, alcohol-based markers, will go through. So do I cut through? Go. Alrighty. All right. So this is what we're going to work on. I'm going to pick some colors. I need a scrap paper. Let me get one to test colors on, to do color testing. I know, I love this book. And I think it's, from what I understand, it's out of print, and the only place you could get it was through in Indonesia. I'm not sure where. I don't remember. Tracy got it for me. Um, but I think there was rumors that he was going to republish it, and then there's rumors that he wasn't. So I don't know. You know? So if you have any questions, put them in caps. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's a live show on Ustream. And I think I'll just use the back of the book as to put it on. This right here is really rough, and I don't want to pick up any bumps from it. So, yeah. So I am going to do as much in mark Copics and Hoo Heroes and alcohol markers as we can. But I always have no problem mixing media, going in and shading with pencil and mixing it up. No problem doing that whatsoever. But I do know I want to do, let me get all my Copic skin colors. I have a bunch of the Copic Chow for skin colors. And you can get a set of these. I think there's like 5 or 6 in a set. And you can get them at Michael's. Use a coupon. I think they're like $25 to $30. I forget now. But if you use a 40 or 50% off coupon, you can get you a set of skin colors for, you know, $15 or something. You know, which I think is pretty good for Copics. All right, but I'm going to start with, I'm going to probably want a little bit more darker shading. So I think I'm going to go with, and I'll try to remember to tell you the names of the colors that I'm using. I better not do that. Yeah, I better not do that on my page. Let's keep it off to the side. So this is E15, and it's kind of a sienna brown, because I'm going to do her a ginger. So I'm going to have her have kind of a brownish tone, red, orangey hair. So, and y'all know this, I'm not proficient at alcohol markers. I just play a little bit. Okay, so there's that, and I'm going to just come over here and test. That's probably a good mid-tone, which is E11, and then I'll need a little bit lighter. Let's see, do I want the yellower version, Y21? Nope, that's too yellow, but that might be kind of good, some highlights in her hair, maybe. Let's see, this one. Okay, those are probably good. So this is E00. So, and I usually don't go with more than like 3 colors to blend, because I'm just not that good at it yet. So if I get 10 colors trying to blend a bunch of colors, and it's like, I don't know about that. Let's see, which one is that? Yeah. I don't know, you know, I don't want to try to overthink the blending. So there's for her skin and possibly her hair. Now let's see what kind of an orange color maybe, or a reddy orange color for her hair. Let's go with Cam's so good at picking colors. He just knows right what colors to go with. Maybe that might be a little orange, but if I go with the brown, this brown color, those 2 colors. So this is R14, which is kind of an orange red. It's red. It's in the red family, but it's really kind of orange. Let's see what, maybe a more of a tan color. That is too pink. I just got to test, guys. I got to play and test. That's too much similar to the skin tone. If you have any questions, put them in caps. All right, let's see. I got this Hoo orange here. No, this is Blick. Let's see. That's really dark. I don't think I need quite that dark. Maybe. And the thing about the Blick compared to the Hoo-Hoos or the Ohu, there's different names. And if y'all y'all have talked about the different names. Like I have the Hoo Hoo Heroes, there's Ohu, and there's different ones. But I think they're essentially all the same. We got them off of Amazon, 80 of them for 30 bucks, 35. Anyway, but Blick's brand has the brush tip. Whereas the Hoo Hoos don't have a brush tip, but the Blicks have a brush tip. So there's an advantage of the Blick ones. I have a few Blick. So I might use that orange, this brown, those for the hair. Here's her skin. And then I'll probably need something in a little bit more of a gold yellow color. So here's the Hoo Hoo. And I don't trust the color. That's kind of a golden yellow. So I think I'm going to go with that. And it's called Cream. See, here it is. This is kind of a yellow ochre, and it's named Cream, but it's really a yellow ochre. So you can't really go by the names on these hoo-hoos or the oh-hoos or any of that. When Cam was on, he gave great tips on what would be good colors to get. Yeah, Cam would know that. I will. I wouldn't know. Other than I'll tell you the skin set. Get the skin set in the Chow at Michael's. And you can get other sets. There are a few. There's a few Chow sets you can get. There's a pastel set. There's a I think it's primary set. So there's a few different ones that you can get and use your coupon. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with just a light. I'm just going to do her whole face with a light color just to start, just to get rid of the white. Okay, and so just to get rid of all the white, then we'll do some blending because I want to make her a redhead. So right now I think that this distance, it's not really zoomed in, but you can see the whole page. I think this is probably a good distance. What do y'all think? Is this a good distance? To see? Or do we need to zoom in? I mean, because right now you can see the whole page, which is kind of where I was going. Because I'm going to go kind of all over for a while. I plan on doing her clothing gray and red. And she's going to have orange and, kind of redhead, but not red. But I want her armor is going to be gray and reds. Red and grays. Just because I think that'll look cool. It's good? Okay. All right, so now let's go in with the next darkest and put a little bit more shadow where I want. And remember, it's best, I found, and this is what the Copic girls say, is to blend while it's wet. Because it'll blend. See how it blends when it's wet? And you can re-wet it. I mean, it's not like, it's just easier to blend the edges. So I just kind of want this side of her face to be kind of in shadow because where her hair is. Under her eyes, I want a little more. And I'm just going back and forth. And we'll see how dark it needs to be. And remember, it's a little bit of a grayscale on here. Oh yeah, this paper's awesome. Yeah, this paper's awesome. It's not shiny smooth, but yet it's thick. It's like cardstock. It is cardstock. This paper is awesome. This is one of the best papers, in my opinion, is in this book. So I'm just going back and forth between the two. It's a little bit more shadow, kind of going where the gray scale is. And just kind of taking my time. I'm just using these two colors right now, the E00 and the E11. And I want to, she has freckles, which I'll accent after I get done with the skin. Yeah, it's in this book here, if y'all missed it. The Nick Filbert, it's Nicholas F. Chandrawienata. I'm not going to pronounce it, but he goes by Nick Filbert, hashtag, on Instagram. And I've done flips and colored in this book. Do I have trouble? Well, not really. I don't really have trouble with the chisel ends. These I'm using brush tips now, but like the Hoo Hoo Heroes, it has the small point as a bullet tip, and it has a chisel tip. But I like the chisel because you can get a big swatch of color. However, you can still get a point too. You can just turn the point and get different thicknesses. Granted, the brush tip is the best. The brush tip is the easiest to use, no doubt about it. Okay, I think I'm going to stop on her face for a minute. I'm going to have some more stuff on there, but I want to kind of get some hair and, play around with, I think I'm going to go with E15, which is kind of a russet brown. Y'all can see that right there, kind of an orangey brown. It's kind of sienna-ish. And I'm going to start by just picking out the shadows in her hair. I'm just kind of flicking that in just to start, because she's going to be a redhead. Yeah, you can't beat the brush tip. You really can't. But you can't beat the price of the Hoo-Hoos either. As y'all know, many of you have them. So and this is kind of like just the first layer, just kind of picking out the shadows in the hair. And remember, guys, I don't do a lot of this, so kind of learning along with anybody else doing it. I'm going to probably have her have green eyes. Maybe, I don't know if green eyes would probably be good because she's going to have red in her armor. So probably green eyes would be good. If you have any questions, put them in caps. I'll try to answer. A little bit back in there. So if you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching over there. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. A few little lighter, thinner, I should say. I want to keep this side light because the light's edges. So now, do I want a little bit of this yellow? I just couldn't decide. Now it's too yellow. I kind of want, I think I decided on this color. Yeah, and a kind of an orange. I don't know if I want this darker. That may be a little, yeah, maybe. I'm going to go with the Blick red, and I'm not sure what, let's see, it has a, it's 005 red. It's just red. So I'm going to put a little bit, I think I should probably do it with the bullet tip, because I mean the brush tip, not the chisel tip. Because I just want a few little strands. I just want to add a little bit of red, but not like a lot. I want a hint of red, but I'm going to keep it more golden red. Hopefully I can blend this in. We'll see. So I'm just going to add a little bit of, in the darkest shadows, just in the darkest places, I'm going to add some red. We'll see how it goes. Again, this one's the Blick one. A little red there. And hopefully I can blend this out so it's not this bright red. But I plan on blending it out with the what they're calling cream, which I'm calling like a yellow ochre, is what I'm going to try to blend this with. I think, I don't know, Jean Rue, I don't know, we'll see. Let's practice. It's a little red there, just a tiny bit of red. Because we can always add more, right? So now I'm going to go in with the and I will use the chisel end, and let's see how we can blend. Okay, so now I'm going to just go back over the red and the, what number was that we were using? The E15? No, that was, no. Was that it? Did it roll away? I think that's the color. Yeah, E15. So now we're going to go with the hoo-hoos on top and kind of try to blend the red. And it's blending. And it does go through, guys. Look. See? Just showing you. Because I don't want it that bright red, which it's kind of blending out, but it still might be a little red. I don't know if I can kind of get it to, yeah, it's kind of doing it. But I might need some more orange, because I really want her to have red hair, not just like red streaks and blonde hair, you know? Yeah, like a yeah, kind of a strawberry blonde. Yeah, I guess that's be the best way to say it. So I'm just kind of blending in the red with the chisel tip on this one so that it's not like, you know, cherry red. And the reason I kind of thought that I wanted her to be a redhead because it was her freckles. Hey, Debbie Epps. I saw your little French bulldog. I think was it a French bulldog that you just did the other day? Yesterday? I lose track of when people do things. The other day, your little, I saw it post on Facebook. It was so cute. You did it for, was it Tara? My grandson is redhead, only one bright red. Kimmy Poo, probably your best bet to get the, and somebody told me how to pronounce it on YouTube, but I didn't write it down. This book here. The best place to get this is the Facebook group, from what I understand, what I've been told. If you go to the Facebook group, they get orders together and get it cheap from, I think, Croatia is probably your best bet to get this. Was a friend Tara. Yeah, I just thought it was so cute, Debbie, the French bulldog. All right, so I need a little bit of orange in this. Let's see if this is going to be too. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with this, the Copic color number R14, light rouge, but I think it's kind of orange. So I want a little bit more orange. Yeah, I think you can get it on Amazon, but I think it's cheaper. I think it's cheaper if you go through the Facebook group, from my understanding. Zimyasnova. You're the one that told me, Beth? Okay, thank you. Yeah, I know somebody put it on, just didn't write it down. Let me write it down now. Zimyasnova. Thanks, Beth. Zimyasnova. Okay, I'll put that on the book because I know the next time I go to, I'll forget. Yeah, so it's out of stock on Amazon. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Everybody told me and everybody else, go to, okay, that's some of her hair right there, I think. Yeah. Her hair is coming down here, so let me get back to the red because I need a little bit down here. It goes all the way down there. I don't want to get on her face there. And a little bit of the gold color. Now going back with the orange. Thanks, Beth. I don't want to lose all the highlights. I almost want some to be kind of keep it kind of white. Maybe if I use the blender to kind of just move it a little bit without, I don't know. I'm not real good with that blender yet. It's almost like an eraser rather than a blender. You know what I mean, Vern? trying to be delicate. Because I want to keep some of the light. Blender is a misnomer due to the Japanese translation. Yes, it's more of an eraser. Thanks, Erin. Yeah, I know you told me that before. And so, what about the Prismacolor blender marker, Erin? Is it the same? Is it also more of a is it also more of an eraser, or is it more of an, like what's that stuff? We use in oil painting, odorless thinner. Thanks, Chatty Natty. Is the Prismacolor one blender more of the odorless thinner type blender, or is it essentially the same thing as the Copic blender, which is an eraser? I'll dig that out. Let's try. Okay, I need a little bit more skin color right on her forehead. There we go. There we go. I don't know from Prismacolor alcohol markers, only provision Copics. Okay. Well, what I'm saying is I got one, so we'll test. I mean, I have the Prismacolor blender, so we'll test that on the scrap sheet here. Okay, so but let's go back now. I want a little bit more of the cream color, hoo-hoo cream color. I'm just kind of taking my time, guys, and kind of trying to kind of blend as much as I can without losing all my highlights here. If it's just purified alcohol, it's the same concept. I'm using all different ones, Kiki. I'm using the Hoo Hoo Hero. These are the inexpensive Amazon ones that we all got. They go by Hoo Hoo Heroes, Oh Hoo, and a couple other names. But they're real inexpensive. Now, they don't have a brush tip. The Blick markers have a brush tip. These are less expensive. They're more expensive than these, but they're not as expensive as a Copic. And then I've got, for like the skin color, I'm using the Copic Chow here. So they're all alcohol-based markers. Yeah. And it acts the same as the Copic one, Card Chick. Where is mine? I had it sitting here not too long ago. What did I do with it? How did I put, here we go. Prismacolor. Colorless blender. I mean, I think it's for pencil. I don't use any kind of liquids. I don't use the colorless blender in my pencil work. I don't use, some people use Vaseline, the odorless thinner, which I've used in oil painting. I don't use any of that in my color pencil. So I'm not really, and of course y'all know I'm really not much into alcohol markers. So, but I want to test it over here. Let's just see if it blends or if it's got something on it there. That's like, oh, probably used it on something. It's kind of pink. So yeah, it's not really moving. It's not even erasing. The Prismacolor odorless, colorless blender. I think it's just made for pencils. I think these are made for pencils. The colorless blender, because I don't use any. I just use pencil when I do pencil. Yeah. So let's go back into. this color, the skin color, the Y21, let's see, it's might work. Because I want a little bit of yellow. See, I don't want to lose that light. So I'm almost afraid to color the white. Well, afraid's a bad word. I'm not afraid, but I don't want to lose those light highlights. Yeah, that's for pencils, yeah. I mean, they come in those pencil sets. So I'm guessing they're for pencils, not markers. I think that'll be okay. I just don't want to lose all the highlights. Dee Dee, why don't you use the colorless blender pencil? You mean when I'm doing pencil work? Because I don't know, I just don't like it. Here's the thing about when I do pencil work, it's very light layers. Tons of layers, like maybe 20 layers, right? When you use the blender, the blender pencil, here, let me find one here. Here's one that's not even sharpened. They're just called colorless blender pencil. And it's kind of just like, it's kind of like the pigment without, I mean the wax stuff, the stuff that it's made out of without any color. But what that does is it mashes your paper. And once your paper is mashed with layers of pencil, there's no getting that back. It's like your paper is what they call burnished. And so once it's burnished, you can pile on more color, but there's no more subtle blending. So when you use those colorless blender pencils, you're mashing your paper. And then you can't do more soft blending. You know, does that make sense? I just don't like it the way it does. I like just blending only with pencil. I mean, if I got to blend something, I'll use either a white or a ginger root or a cream color, depending on, light blue if I'm on blue. But I just don't like to mash my paper down because then there's no more blend. You can pile on another color and mash it in, but you won't get a blend once your paper is mashed. So I'm liking that. See, I just put this what number is this? Y21 to kind of keep my highlights and still kind of blend in some of the orange and the red. And I'm probably overworking it here, but I'm really trying to get a nice blend since I don't really know what I'm doing with the markers. How much I can manipulate them. It takes practice. How much you can wet them and move them. And again, it's going to matter on the paper. This is thick paper and still going through, right? But how much you can manipulate the paper without it pilling, without it tearing. Because I'm sure there's a point where that's pretty much it, All right. I think I want her to have green eyes. So let's see, get a nice lime green. I want fluorescent green. Let's see what color this one is. Let's see. That's not quite the green I want. Let's try this one, this hoo-hoo green. That's a little better. I kind of like this hoo-hoo green. This one is called yellow green. And I'm going to do her eyes yellow green. It's not going to show up that much until I put I'll probably put a white pencil on there. Let me get a pencil. Well, I got to let that dry. And then I'll highlight it with the white pencil. Let's see. And I always, on my color book faces, I always go in with on the pupil with the black, either pencil or with a Sharpie pen. Now in this case it doesn't really matter because I'm not worried about it going through, but a Sharpie pen doesn't go through like Sharpie markers, okay? So I always like the pupil really black. Usually I'll go in there with the eyelashes and other things too, but I don't want to do that yet till I'm done with the skin because I don't want the black or anything to smear with the Copics. The other thing I want to do is put a little bit of that orange in her eyebrows. Just a little. And I'll probably go in there with a pencil and do a little bit of flicking. I wanted a little bit of orange in her eyebrows, but usually they're not, they're not yellow red, But I might need her. I kind of lost a little bit of the orange color with all that blending, so I'm going to go back and flick in just a little bit more orange to kind of brighten it back up a little. Because I lost a little, when I did all that blending with the lighter color, some of the orange kind of got too blended. So I'm just going to do a little extra orange. But I want to keep all those highlights. I don't want to lose those. So. All right. Now I want her armor to be, and it's a lot of grayscale. So I want to see how well, let me just try the Blick red. I want the darker areas to be red, and then I want a couple shades of gray because I want it to look kind of like metal and armor, but I want hints of red. So I don't even know how much the red's really going to show, but in some of the darkest grayscaled areas, I'm going to put the red. It's almost like behind the armor, the areas where there's something behind the armor, whether it's a cloth, kind of, whether it's a leather or a fabric or something holding the armor together, is red. So I want to take a minute to do that. And I'm really just kind of just going over the dark grayscale. There won't be really any blending to this part because it's already black, And there's a little fur around the top of this armor, like to keep it soft on her head. I mean, I'm just imagining if you were wearing this, you wouldn't want that metal bumping into your head. Thanks, Beth. So, she's got this fur kind of collar thing. And then under here, I want it red. So I'm just going to pick out all the, even these could be like jewels here, like this could be a ruby jewel. I don't know. These all could be little jewels. But that's the color scheme I'm going with here, is red and gray on the armor. So I'm going to use a couple different grays. And I'll have to pick those out in a minute. First, I'm just kind of going in here and finding everything I want red to start. I'm just picking out the darkest ones. There'll probably be some lighter areas that are red too. But this is a start. Do you ever use pit pens? I use black and a sepia sometime for drawing, but to color with, no, I don't use pit pens. Debbie Epps is pretty good at those pit pens. I personally just don't love them, except the black and brown for drawing and line art. I like the black pit pens for line art, but not for coloring. That's just me. Everybody has their preferences. Everybody's good and likes different supplies. It's just pit pen coloring is not my favorite. I don't know what all these armor bits and things are either. I mean, I guess nobody does except Nick, who drew it. So you just got to kind of roll with the colors here. But I know Debbie Epps uses the pit pens. If you want someone that knows what they're doing with them, I mean, that would be Debbie. Just kind of going in here wherever I think I want red. A little there, a little here. And I'm just really basing it on the darkest grays, like the blacked areas of the darkest part of the grayscale is what I'm basing on where I'm putting the red. That's how I'm making the decision as to where they're going, the red's going. Right along this line right here. Yeah, Beth, do, if you're interested in the pit pens. I mean, I love the black, don't get me wrong. I like them, but for drawing, not for coloring. Okay, this, and then all down in here. Hope y'all can see, because I'm not really that zoomed in. But I wanted you to see the whole, because I'm not really shading that much right now. I'm just kind of coloring in areas. I mean, her hair is a little blendy, but I think you saw that pretty good from far away. Oh yeah, it's hot down here. It's in the 90s, and the humidity. It's just so humid. I have my fan blowing on me. The air never really turns off. It's ridiculously expensive. How do you like the Blick marker? Well, I'm not really, I'm not doing a lot of blending with them. I put a little bit in her hair, but I haven't practiced enough with any of the markers to really, compare in any depth. I mean, I can say, well, this one blends. I like the brush. I mean, I like it that's got a brush tip. a brush, you know, the hoo-hoos don't have the brush, right? So that's a plus for the Blick. They're juicy, but can I say that they blend as well as the Copics? I don't really, haven't done enough. You know, I haven't done enough with them. I just don't play with them enough. Yeah, Beth's in Atlanta area too. Maybe we ought to do a meetup sometime. I'll also get Susan. Susan, you know, of course, Darcy and Denise, you know, if we could ever get everybody together. Darcy and Denise are like, I think they're just like workaholics. Never get them away from work. It'd be fun to have some kind of a get together. More city life, Beth. And I think too, the reason that I'm kind of successful with the alcohol markers is that because this paper is so thick, it doesn't bleed. I think some color book papers, like I don't think that, I don't know, have I ever tried any kind of alcohol markers on Bennett Klein? You know, his paper's some of the thinnest. And I think that some of it might just be too bleed, you know? I don't know. I'd be kind of careful. I think a lot of it has so much of it has to do with the paper, and that's true with whatever you're using. It has to do with the paper. Know what I mean, Bern? Not a city girl anymore, you want goats. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, we don't even have goats in the suburbs. You'd have to really move out in the country, girl. Girl, you'd have to move out in the country. Okay, and I want these little hangy down things to be red. So you can see it kind of takes a while just to do the one color, you know, right? Horses, you want horses. I'm not doing a lot of talking. I kind of got talked out on the Idea Society segment, idea collecting segment. So kind of talked out. So that's why I decided, well, let's just do a color book page. Well, we're not going to finish it, obviously, but work on one. Work on some coloring, get some techniques and ideas. I think I want this whole thing red. Some of these bits I think I want red. We're going to go back to the face in a minute. With alcohol markers, you want middle of the road paper, too thin, and you're controlling bleed, too thick, and you're soaking up your ink, and you'll be dry in a second. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Mel. Yeah, see, I'm new at them, so I'm not really one to teach on it. I would love to do one of those Copic class things. Do I want anything else yet? I think I want to kind of wait because I want to get that gray in there. I want to decide where I want the gray. I want that red though, right there. So I'm just kind of going in here and picking out all the places. Alright, some of this right here, these strappy things. And I'm thinking I want this red too. I think I'm going to want these to be red. I'm not sure what these fly things are. I mean, these flyaway things. All this. I'm not sure what it is. I kind of want it red, but then I don't want it to look like blood's flying everywhere either. Decisions. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. All the stuff behind her. You're scared of the new... Yeah, I haven't... Yeah, look up Debbie Epp. She uses them. The pit pins. Alright. Thanks, Lindsay Whimsy. I just don't know about this stuff. I think I almost want that gray. Because I'm not sure what it is. So I think gray. Alright, so let me see. Let me pick out a couple grays. Do I just neutral gray? Let's see. Cameron would tell me what grays to use. Because that's just the way he rolls. He knows his grays. That's kind of a blue gray. Kind of like that. I think I like this is the Hoo Hoo. This is, it's blue gray. I like a blue gray. And so, let's see. And Hoo Hoo's has a lot of grays, which I like. That Hoo Hoo has a lot of grays. Let's see if I want a little bit darker one. Yeah, these two are kind of a blue gray. I'm kind of liking these two. Oh, here, see? Kind of a blue and a gray. Now I need something a little bit more in the middle. The numbers don't, you know, I don't know. I'm not sure if they coordinate kind of like the, what do you call it, Stu? The Copics. That's almost similar to that, so that's almost the same. It's not that different, so I need something a little lighter. It's like the BGs of hoo-hoos. The blue-grays, I guess, is what they mean in the hoo-hoos. Something in the middle of these two. What's this one? I wonder if I could just do it with two. I don't know. That's almost similar, so I'm kind of getting there. That's green gray. I don't want green gray. I want blue grays. That's green gray. Gotta look for a minute, guys. That's not it either. I thought you were talking about the Bee Gees. Okay. I think I'm just going to try these two for now. The two blue grays. I don't know if there's a middle one. I don't seem to have in between these two if they go by the numbers. Like, you know, these are, it's BG 3 and BG 7. I don't seem to have a hoo-hoo BG like 4 or 5. There may be one, but I don't know. I don't have my grays as organized as I should, I guess. Cool gray, but I need bees. Have darker, but I don't want darker. I don't want to go that dark. Bee, no. Okay, we'll try these two. All right, so I'm going to start with the lighter of the two, and I want to do her fur. So I want all this to be kind of gray, blue grays. So let's see here. I'm going to flick in some on her fur here. Then I can pick out a Copic gray too. I just want to kind of find the colors right now. That's the fur around her head. All right, and then I want some of the darker is going to go, I'm going to go with the fine point here. Like right in here, some of the blue gray. And of course I can always use the my pencils. Trust me, I'm not afraid to go in here with pencil. And then let's test out the lighter gray where the light is hitting it up here. Yeah, I kind of like that. Just don't go quite to the red. Just leave a little bit of light area so I can blend with the lighter gray. I should try some of these. That's where I need to try this. Well, let me just go with the light again. Let's do this one back here. With a little bit of the dark. And then go back and blend a little. Just start with the light gray on both sides and then go in there with a little bit of the dark. And then go back and kind of blend that in. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. You just got to kind of be patient, I'm finding, with the markers. You got to be kind of patient with them. All right, so all this part around the outer edge almost looks like wood. It almost looks like this outer edge is not metal but wood. I don't know if I want to do that though. I'll think about that. Let me go ahead and do some more of the parts I know are metal. This circle thing, it almost looks like wood. All right. But I know I want these clothy looking floaty things to be gray. So I think I'll just go ahead and start on those real quick. Let's just get them based in. And that looks like part of the collar right there, that fur on the back. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just color all this in the light gray. I can probably do most of that with the chisel. Get all the light gray in, and I'll go in with shade. How we do on time? An hour in. Okay. Has anybody seen if Joycey's streaming or not? Did she stick her head through a wheel? That's kind of what it looks like. It's like her head's in a wheel. But I'm sure there's a purpose for that wheel. So I at least want to get some of this shaded in here. I don't know, Jean, I think Jean was here earlier, I thought. Maybe she wasn't. Yes, she was. She was here at first. Maybe she had an appointment or something and I didn't see it. I don't know. She was here earlier. So I'm just going to get at least a base of some gray on all these floaty things, whatever they are. Not sure what they are. She might be napping, yeah. I fall asleep to hers at night. She falls asleep to mine in the day. I gotta get me something to eat. Hupster's bringing home pizza tonight. So I can look on Twitter, guys. I don't know if she doesn't tweet all the time, so sometimes it's like up in the air. I wanted to do a little bit more on her face before we left. Didn't answer your tweet, but also did not tweet. Okay, thanks, Jean. And hi, by the way. Were you napping, Jean? Okay, let's get in here. I gotta get the other end here. A little more detail. At least get the light gray in. I can go back in and shade with a little bit more of the dark after a while. I'm working on Paula's swatch book. Ah, okay. Okay, yeah, I knew y'all were swapping out some things. You were doing a swatch book for her and she was sending you some paint and whatever. Yeah. Jean's just working. All right. So, this may be a good place to stop. Wait, I need some more red in that support this one. A couple other places I missed the red. So what do y'all think so far? Think she's gonna look okay? Need to do a little bit more on her face. Oh, let me go ahead and put that little bit of highlight in her eye here so that green shows up a little better. And I might have to put a little bit more lime green pencil on her eyes because that marker just didn't like pop the lime green. And I like the highlight in the eye. Let's make sure this one's working. I like a nice bright highlight with my Posca. And then I also like to shade the blue, some blue in the white part of the eye. It's a nice shadow color. Now you probably won't be able to see much of this, but I'll try to put it up there. And then a little bit of the lime green. Here we go. I want our eyes to be very, very bright green. Or you just sit quietly and watch. Thanks, Jen. All right, so her lips. Now I got to kind of think. I almost want them on the brown side rather than red, like almost like she's not wearing any lipstick. Like her lips are just naturally kind of maybe that color. Let's go with that color. So I'm going to put a little bit of this kind of a cyan. It's E15. I'm just going to put a little on there and then I'll blend. with the lighter, like the yellower color. No, no, it's too yellow. Let's just go with E11. I just want like natural, not like she's wearing lipstick. But that she's got like nice, pretty, full lips, but not wearing lipstick. Might put a little bit of light highlight. I gotta let that dry, and then I can go in here with a little bit of white pencil. And I also want more shading on her, but we just didn't get to that yet. So I'm gonna want a little bit more, like in the depth of her eyes. I gotta blend that out, and like right there on the tip of her nose, just a little bit. And her freckles. I want to bring out her freckles. And I don't think I want to do that with marker because it's going to look like too much dottage. I'd rather take a pencil. Like this is like ochre. And I just want to, put her freckles in so that they're not like perfect. They're kind of smudgy. Same thing around her eyes there. It needs just a little bit more blend with pencil. I can't not do pencil, I'm telling you, people. I might even put a couple extra freckles. Some little extra ones on her nose. I want that freckle color in there more. And see, that's the thing about shading with the pen. I just want to get in there with the pencil. Do more shading and blending, because that's my thing. Pencil's my thing. Pencil on top of marker is awesome. A couple little hairs, like her eyebrows are not perfect. There might be a few little hairs in her eyebrows, make it look more natural. Very, very light. I'm barely touching. Right along her hairline, maybe a little. So you got Nicholas Philbert's poster called Love. You don't know that. I haven't seen the poster, Mel. I mean, did you tweet a picture? So there's her freckles. And now maybe just the tiniest bit of white on her lips, just like a little highlight on her lip. I don't know if you can see I extended her hairs on her eyebrows a little bit. Yes, mixed media. We all about that. Alrighty, so I guess I'm going to head out, go get some lunch, do some laundry. I don't know that I'll work on her really anymore. I mean, I want to get in here and flick in some, sienna, individual hairs. And also, I always like to do a few, and I can't do it now because I don't want to mess this up until I'm ready for it. well, let me do a couple. I always say that and then I show you. But to take, like if you want a little bit of hair swoops, then you can take a Posca and just swoop out a few hairs, right? Now they're white, but what you can do is let that dry and go over it with your orange or whatever pencil so it's not so white. But it gives a few little flyaway hairs and gives it look more movement in her hair. See? Now let that dry, which it might already be, and then take your, like I'll take a yellow ochre and just go over those white hairs so they're still highlighted, but they're not white. So it doesn't look like she has gray hair, right? It just looks like some light blondie flyaways. So that's a little thing you can do to make the hair look more movement. And you're not like coloring tons of individual hairs. So there. See? So we'll work on her some more later. I can't say I'm not going to work on her on camera. Off camera, I mean. But yeah. But I'm really liking her face. I'm liking her freckles. Maybe I'll post a picture like, you know, in progress. I don't like to do too many of those. I'll put it on Twitter like what we did today. But I don't do a lot of whips. I don't post a lot of whips, works in progress. Thanks, guys. All right, well, y'all have a good day. And we'll see y'all later. Thanks for joining me. Bye, guys.